Kaz?
Let's flash back to 2004 when all the girls and some of the boys were going absolutely wild for this song.
I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and you're beautiful. So you're the one I want to chase. You're the one I want to hold. I won't let another minute go to waste. I want you and you're beautiful. So
While Jesse McCartney was managing a successful pop career, he was also starring alongside our very own Ryan Quanten in TV show Summerland.
But there's so much more to the pop star that you wouldn't know, like that he wrote one of the biggest hits of the last decade and that he's back with brand new music of his own.
And Jesse McCartney joins us all the way from New York this morning. Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Kylie. Hey, Larry. How are you guys?
Hey.
You're in the middle of touring around the States at the moment, so thank you for joining us. The new song and video have only just been released. What's the reaction been like? Are the fans enjoying the new music?
It's been overwhelmingly positive. I'm so excited. This is the first song I've released in nearly 4 years. The song is called Better With You, and it just came out yesterday, or 2 days ago, rather. And yeah, the reaction's been incredibly positive. I'm thrilled with how everyone's been turning up, and yeah, I'm pumped about it.
Yeah, so exciting days ahead. But can we go back a little bit? Can we go back to 2004?
Sure.
Beautiful Soul
Yeah.
catapulted you to, like, global superstar. You were like a teenager at the time. How did you handle all that kind of exposure and fame?
You know, I always had just an incredible team around me and an amazing support system from my family, from my friends, you know, who weren't afraid to knock me down a couple pegs if I cut out a line. And you know, I just, I don't know. To me, it was just a matter of finding balance, you know. And at such an awkward time in your life, it's so easy to fall off the deep end. And it was just a matter of having the right people around me, I think, you know.
Was there ever a moment when you thought, hang on, this is all too much?
Oh, sure. I mean, I remember my first international tour in 2004 and 2005. I was traveling, you know, promoting Beautiful Soul. And, you know, as a kid, you're just not used to that kind of travel and that kind of workload. And I remember getting to, I think it was Japan, and checking into the hotel and just completely forgetting where I was at that moment and just kind of having a little bit of a mental breakdown. I had to call my mom and say, like, hey, I don't know if I can finish this tour. I've been on the road for over a year. I'm going nuts. And she talked me down. She talked me through it. I think we may have had to, like, move a couple shows around. But, you know, at the same time, I was a kid. I was a teenager like anybody else. So it was an interesting time, for sure.
Yeah, you can always call your mum, right? That fixes everything. Yeah. You were such a big star at such a young age. We're seeing a lot of kids now become overnight successes on all these reality shows around the world, and so many of them sort of falling off the perch and getting into trouble. What sort of lesson would you like to teach other young artists who find fame very, very quickly and kind of, like you were just telling us then, maybe not ready for that?
I mean, I would just say that, you know, everyone's watching, particularly now. In 2004, it was, you know, all eyes were on somebody like myself. But even now, it's like, it's heightened to a whole new level with the power of social media. I would just say, you know, use your head. I mean, do what you think is right. And you know, because everybody is watching, and you do have such a big impact on all of your fans, and they're looking up to you, and they want you to do the right thing, and everyone's going to make some mistakes here and there, but you know, I think, you know, you just kind of have to think about the consequences, you know?
Yeah, consequences always. You not only wrote your own music, but you also helped write one of the biggest songs of the noughties. Tell us about penning Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis.
Bleeding Love was an interesting moment in my career because I had originally written the song for myself with the lead singer of One Republic, Ryan Tedder, and the song kind of sat around in my computer for about a year, and we did nothing with it. At the time, my record company, they were like, I don't really know if this is it. We don't know if this is going to be like anything. And obviously, Ryan and I felt very differently, and Simon Cowell approached us and said, hey, I have this new artist, Leona Lewis. She just won the X Factor, and I'd love to hear her sing this song. And we were like, okay, you know, it's either that or it's just going to sit on my laptop. Let's have her cut it. she recorded it, and that year it became, you know, one of the biggest songs of that decade, and it just kind of took us all by surprise. We had no idea the storm that was about to happen, and it was a huge moment for me as a songwriter and as an artist, and a very validating moment, you know?
Yeah, she did an incredible job of that song, right? You must have been so proud of that. What's the difference between writing a song, performing it, it becoming a huge global hit, and doing it for somebody else and they go on to make a hit of that song?
You don't have to tour it as much. They can do all the work.
And you get a cut because you wrote the song,
no,
right?
I mean,
financially, it's okay.
Yeah, financially, it's great too. But
Yeah.
I think that the big thing I think is that that people don't realize. The common misconception is that a hit song is a hit song for everybody, and it's actually not the case at all. I think in many ways, Bleeding Love was written, you know, for Leona. You know, it was so her song. It embodied everything that she was as an artist, as a singer, and I don't think I would have had nearly as much success with that song as Leona did. And I think, you know, you kind of have to think about that when you're writing for other artists, tailor the song to their voice. And obviously, like you said, she just crushed that vocal. So I think it's really, you know, it depends on who's singing the song when it becomes a hit or not.
Can we talk TV shows, Summerland? Because our own Ryan Quanten started alongside that with you. Are you still mates after the show?
I haven't seen Ryan in a bit, but I actually ran into him at a bar about a year ago or 2 years ago, and we had a beer together. I was like, dude, what's up? I hadn't seen him in years. And he was like, hey, man, we had, you know, back then we had been so close. We were working together every day for 2 years, over 2 years. And but he's doing great. Obviously, he had such a huge success of a show on HBO after Summerland. And it's amazing. A lot of people, everyone from that show has gone on to have Zac Efron, of course, Lori Loughlin. Everyone's gone on to kind of do their own thing. And you know, it was a special time. It was a special cast, for sure.
Yeah. All right, back to the future. It's been 4 years since your last album. Does your new single mean there's another record on the way?
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of music this year, a lot of new music. I'm currently working on a new album, but I have a collection of about 4 or 5 songs at the moment that I'm going to release this year, and hopefully followed by a tour, and not just in the U.S. I really want to get back to Australia. It's been a while since I've been down there. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. So I'm excited to be singing Better With You, the new song. And hopefully, you know, the response down there is as great as it was for Beautiful Soul.
Great. Well, we can't wait to see you. Any dates locked in, or it's just a wait and see?
It's a wait and see, but you know, I'm all over social media. Go check me out, and I'll keep everybody posted on tour dates.
Good stuff.
Just remember, Kylie needs at least 10 days to prepare the guest wing at her home. So good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you, Kylie. Thanks, Larry.